Every year, more than 90,000 people are newly diagnosed with Parkinson's, a disease that affects a total of 1 million people just in the U.S. And today is World Parkinson's Day. Joining me now, I'm happy to have the CEO of the Parkinson's Foundation, Lehr, and Vikas Chinnan, a person living with young-onset Parkinson's disease. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show today. How are you both?
Good, Tim. Thanks for having us.
We're doing great. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and thank you for taking the time to educate people about Parkinson's. John, why don't we start with you? Why don't you just give people the broad brushstrokes of what Parkinson's disease is, how it's progressed, and what people need to know just to be more aware of maybe the signs and symptoms?
Yeah, so Parkinson's is a progressive degenerative neurological disease. So that's a lot of words. What that means is it's a disease primarily of movement, but there are other systems that are affected in the body. People will tend to notice resting tremor early on, body rigidity, slowness of movement. There are cognitive issues involved, mental health issues involved. Really, it's a whole body disease. It tends to affect people later in life in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And as you said, 1 million Americans are living with disease and 90,000 newly diagnosed. That's a 50% increase over prior estimates. So we just want to make sure that anybody who has a concern about Parkinson's knows that they can get resources through the Parkinson's Foundation.
You said it usually affects people later on in life. Unfortunately, because that was not you. You've got young-onset Parkinson's disease. How has that differed from regular Parkinson's, and how are your symptoms?
Absolutely. So YOPD, also known as young-onset Parkinson's disease, affects people 50 years of age and younger, and that represents about 4% of the 1 million people in the United States living with Parkinson's. The thing to know about young-onset Parkinson's disease is that people who have it experience the disease differently. For example, they might be at a different stage of their career. They may have less time to focus on their own care. They may have children or be planning to have children. And then finally, they may have questions about passing those genes on to their kids. In my case, I was diagnosed at age 45 at the peak of my career. I had 2 kids, and I had been experiencing really unexplained symptoms for quite some time. And so the diagnosis, it came quite as quite a relief.
Okay, interesting to hear a relief. I can imagine the uncertainty must have been really, really tough. But how are things going now? What are you doing to help try to live your best life with the disease?
Sure. You know, the most important thing is to understand the progression of the disease and be confident that, you know, with the right steps, you can live a healthy life. And in my case, I have 5 key strategies that I employ to battle the disease. One is to maintain a good diet. I exercise regularly. I keep my stress low. I make sure that I take the medicines that are prescribed for me, and I have good sleep hygiene. And then, of course, there's the non-motor symptoms that are really important to track and follow, specifically depression and apathy, and to be open with your care team and family and friends so they can turn around and support you through it.
Yeah, those non-motor symptoms absolutely are something that you are not talked about enough. Real quickly, John, just what else should people know? Where should they go if they find themselves facing a diagnosis?
Yeah, our website, parkinson.org, has all the information that people know. You can trust it. It's peer-reviewed and verified. And if you want to talk to somebody live, we have a helpline that's staffed by wonderful clinicians who know everything there is to know about Parkinson's disease, and you can call them at 800-4PD-INFO. That's 800-4PD-INFO.
Vikas, John, thank you both for taking the time just to educate people on Parkinson's disease on this day. We do appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having us.